On today's Primetime Local News, the Reclaim store has a new home. We have a look at the permanent location. And the Lakeland Rustlers kick off their soccer and basketball dual camps. Plus a look at the first few days of Chuckwagon action.
Primetime Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Turning to local news now, the Reclaim store is now reopened for business in a new, bigger location located closer to the downtown sector. After a brief stint at their old location during COVID, the Reclaim store has moved and reopened. The new location at 5302 50th Avenue has many benefits, like being closer to downtown Lloydminster and having much more space for all the large, unique items in store.
Yeah, we were leasing the old building, and we found that this space is just more suited for our needs. And you know, we could always use more space. I think we'll always fill it, but this is definitely more suited for what we're doing here.
The Reclaim store is always accepting donations of furniture, building supplies, and large home objects, and are committed to continuing their financial assistance charity programs. It's been a busy few months for the Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce, moving into a new building and now preparing to host representatives from both provinces. We caught up with their executive director for more. Executives from chambers of commerce across Alberta and Saskatchewan are going to be converging on the border city this week for a professional development summit. I'm joined today with the executive director of the Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce, Serena Shadeen, to talk a little bit more about this. Serena, what's all entailed with this professional development summit?
The Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce is hosting a joint Alberta and Saskatchewan Chamber Executives Professional Development Summit here in Lloydminster. So it's this Wednesday to Friday. We're really excited to do this. This is something we have actually been dreaming about in Lloydminster for probably 4 or 5 years now, being bi-provincial. We go to both the Alberta and Saskatchewan Chamber conferences. So it's always been a dream of ours to bring both provinces together here in Lloydminster. So that dream is finally becoming a reality this week, and we're just super excited. I think anytime that Lloydminster has the opportunity to be able to host both of our provinces in our community for joint conferences or meetings or any of that type of stuff, I think it's just a really fantastic opportunity that we can have to showcase our community.
And the timing seems perfect too, during the North American Chuckwagon Championships and the fair happening as well. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the excitement that this is going to bring to just, I think, the community in general, but being able to kind of showcase Lloydminster to these representatives from both sides of the border?
Yeah, so Lloydminster is going to be very busy this week. I mean, the fair is going on, we've got our conference. And our conference is actually going to the fair. So the Lloyd X is hosting us on Wednesday night. So we're going to have an outdoor dinner there, set up on the chuck wagons infield. And so then everybody who's joining us for the conference also gets to see the fair, the chuck wagons. So it is really fantastic to be able to show off our community and in such a fun time.
And I understand that the Chamber of Commerce here in town has there's been a lot of exciting news coming out of the chamber the past little while. You guys moved into a new building. Can you kind of share how things are going at the chamber this time of year?
Yeah, so it's just been a crazy busy year all around. We moved into our new building. We had our grand opening, so we really got to showcase our new space that way. We've been doing a lot of different work promoting our Shop Local campaign as well. We launched our Chamber Market, which is our online e-commerce marketplace. So it's just busy. And then now also, we always spend our summer gearing up and planning for our fall programming. So we're getting prepared to do our Indigenous Economic Partnership Summit, which we plan each year, our business awards, the craft fair, which happens in November. We're planning for that all year long. So it's always go, go, go around here.
And now that we're coming out of COVID, the restrictions are now lifted. We're heading into a summer where people can kind of return to normalcy. How is the business community reacting here in Lloydminster?
I think it's been reacting really good. I mean, I think everybody's been busy from who I can hear from also within the tourism industry. everybody is really excited for this summer and the amount of events that are back, and just that everybody can get out and see our lovely community and really experience our community events.
I'm looking forward to everything that's happening here in town this summer. The 2022 Business Excellence Awards nominations are open for those as well, hey?
Yes, they are. Yeah. So if you guys know of any businesses who just are fantastic and you think they deserve an award, check out our website, lloydminsterchamber.com. And yeah, you can nominate businesses in town for our awards ceremony.
Well, thank you, Serena, for taking some time to talk with us. That's Serena Shadeen, the Executive Director of the Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce. If anyone is interested in anything we discussed today, you can check out the Chamber's website or their social media channels. It's time now for this week's edition of Retrospect. Here's Blake Nath.
Retrospect. We take a look back at the roots of the Lloyd X Fair with Colonial Days 92.
Preparations are still underway for this year's Colonial Days exhibition. Over the next few days, upwards of 30,000 people are expected to visit the Midway or check out the different exhibits and agriculture shows. The exhibition general manager Mike Sidorek says there are a few new highlights to see at the fair this year.
Well, we've got 2 special Kids Days this year to help out with the Canada Day celebrations. We've also have armband specials daily armband specials of $14.02 plus GST. Ride all day, be great attraction. Lots of agriculture shows, lots of shows for everyone. It's a good family show, fun for everyone on the grounds.
One big Colonial Days event is, of course, the parade. This year's parade route starts east on 46th Street, then north on 50th Avenue, west on 49th, north on 52nd Avenue, east again on 51st Street, south past Broadcast Center, east on 50th Street, and straight north to the fairgrounds on 49th Avenue. And tonight, kids will get a chance to try out some of the rides at the exhibition at tonight's exhibition preview, starting at 7 o'clock. Darcy Modine, NewsHour.
And floating through the downtown, we take a look back at the Colonial Days Parade in 97.
The 1997 Colonial Days Parade went off without a hitch and with lots of sunshine. Almost 120 floats and displays wound their way through the border cities downtown, and this year's theme was hard to miss.
The salute to the Summer Games is great because that is the big event here in a couple of weeks' time, and I just had a quick glance at the floats, and there's a lot of them using that theme. We are getting the support that really we look for, and we know it's there.
Everyone scrambled to get the best seat, front row, or even balcony. The parade has become a tradition that draws people year after year.
Plus the kids all like it, and everybody gathers down here. We come to our traditional spot, and it always seems to come together. I don't know if there's such a thing as a bad parade.
The crowd soon moved from the streets to the exhibition grounds, lining up to get a taste of what the Midway has to offer.
Okay, there you go. Have a good day at the fair.
From the wildest ride to those for tiny fairgoers, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Today is Kids Day, giving local children a chance to ride for half price and a few extra benefits.
Kids are guaranteed a prize at each booth, so they love it.
Many parents also visit Colonial Days, but it's the kids that lead the way.
I like to see the exhibits, but we do the kid thing first.
Julie Matthews, NewsHour.
And that's all for this week in Retrospect.
Retrospect this week is brought to you by Webbs-Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webbs-Ford in Vermilion.
Well, it finally starts to feel a little bit more like summer this week as we see a lot more heat here in our region. With more, here's Shelby Clark.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. You are correct. This week we are seeing some scorching temperatures coming up here in the border city as well, but we are seeing that definitely in the surrounding areas. We're going to look a little bit more into that later on in my weather segments here, but we are seeing a beautiful day here in the border city at 23 degrees. We are looking at a lot more sun throughout the day. We didn't see too much cloud coverage, so hopefully everybody got out there and enjoyed it. As we're seeing a little bit more sun this week. Make sure you're getting out there and having a nice tan and whatnot. Enjoy some ice cream outside, maybe hit the outdoor pool. You know, this week would be the time to do it. Switching now to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. The Alberta side definitely have warmed up. Most spots seeing between 23 to 25 degrees over on this end. Most spots are just reaching that 23 mark. As we go a little bit over to Edmonton, they are seeing the warmest with 26. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are looking kind of the same conditions as what the Alberta side is seeing. So we're all kind of matching at that 23 and 24 degree range. So we go a little bit higher up to Isle of Cross. They are just reaching 25. Go a little bit lower here and they are just seeing most spots with that 24. And for North Battleford at 24, they will be going down to a low of 11 for their evening low temperature. So seeing those double digits for sure for our evening. So they'll be seeing a nice warm evening. Then tomorrow, even reaching close to that 30 mark. So be prepared. We may have a heat warning coming up here as we're getting closer to that 30 degrees. Just keep looking out at Environment Canada and whatnot. Make sure you're being safe using that sunscreen. Switching now to Cold Lake here, they'll be going down to a low of 12, then seeing 28 tomorrow. So we'll all be kind of matching near that 30 degree range. And as I was saying, please make sure using that sunscreen. Just want to make sure I'm saying that one more time. Make sure you're staying safe. Find some shade if needed. If you're feeling a little too hot out there, because we will be seeing a lot of sun, so it's going to be pretty strong. And switching now to here in the border city, we'll be going now to a low of 13. So, beautiful temperature for our evening. It's kind of like patio season as well. So make sure, you're enjoying your time outside. You'll be able to stay out a little bit later with a nice evening now. And then we will be seeing that 29 tomorrow throughout the day. So get ready. It's coming up. It's going to be a scorcher. And now ending off here, hopefully it switches. There we go. Got a nice photo submission. Thank you to everyone that submitted some nice weather shots to our Facebook page. This was from James. Thank you so much there, Jim. Love this beautiful weather shot. Nice colors in the sky. And that's all I have for now. We'll have more coming up after the break.
Well, we've all felt the buzz around town. The North American Chuck Wagon Championship started Friday at the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds with a wrap-up on the first 3 days of racing. Here's Thomas Wildman.
It's been an exciting few days at Halstead Downs for the NACC Championships, where drivers have been turning and burning competition and enjoying themselves at the border.
Now that it's warmed up and the sun's out, it's been nice. Track's been good, racing's been fun. It's a nice venue.
Every night has seen a new fastest driver, with Wade Salmond, Jamie Labicane, and Ray Croteau winning the day money each night, and the current aggregate leader Logan Gorst only leading by 8 milliseconds over Wade Salmond, with third and fourth only milliseconds behind. For Luke Tournier, who currently holds the final spot to qualify for the Dash for Cash on Saturday, he says it's nice to have a bit of a cushion.
It's always nice to have a lead. It's a long week. We got to stay clean and keep running hard, but if you bobble, you got a little bit more of a breather to get back in, so that part's nice, but it's a long ways from being over.
Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
The Lakeland wrestlers are giving back to the community by kicking off a familiar summer camp. The soccer and basketball dual camp kicked off Monday morning for the 5th straight year right outside of Lakeland College. Soccer will go from 8:30 to noon and basketball going from 1 until 4:30. The soccer camp includes coaching from former and current players, where it teaches kids the basics on defending and positioning.
Even if it's just 20 people, just getting a decent group out to come and practice and actually commit to playing soccer, just so then as time goes on, soccer continues to happen.
Getting out of home, being outside all day would be nice.
The dual camps also have a full and half day options and will go until July 14th. You can reach out to Kevin Wagner for more information. Well, it looks like those kids had some nice weather today for those camps. With more on our evening weather forecast, here's Shelby Clark.
Thanks so much again there, Jace. Yes, those camps look fun out there. I even am on the soccer team myself. I got a game tomorrow wish me luck, because with that temperature, I will be dying out on the field. But now looking at your weather forecast here for an extended look, we'll be starting off with the central zone of our provinces for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, we're definitely seeing some warmer temperatures, even reaching 26 though for Edson and Edmonton, 25 degrees for Whitecourt and Jasper, while the rest are just reaching that 24 mark. So definitely looking a lot warmer on the Alberta side. Switching out to our Saskatchewan side, they are kind of matching with us on the Alberta side with those temperatures. Saskatoon is the warmest there at 26 degrees, 24 in most spots with Meadow Lake, North Battleford and Melfort. Prince Albert and Cold Lake are matching with us here in the border city at 23. Now going over to our northern zone, they are definitely continuing that warm streak as we've been seeing on the Saskatchewan side, especially as we are more in the summer season. So most spots across the provinces are kind of matching with the temperatures getting closer to that 30-degree mark. Wollaston Lake is even at 27, 25 in Buffalo Narrows and La Loche, 24, 23 up in Uranium City and Stony Rapids, while down in La Ronge and Flin Flon, there's quite warm as well with 20 and 24 degrees. And over in South End, they are surprisingly just at 15. So South End is looking a lot cooler. Switching now over to our Alberta side once again, we are still seeing those warm temperatures. Slave Lake is probably the coolest with that 21 mark as the rest warm up from there. 23 in both Peace River and Grand Prairie, while it is 24 up in High Level in Fort McMurray and Fort Chipewyan, slightly warmer there at 25 and 26. Going over now to our southern zone, surprisingly they are looking and kind of matching with us with their temperatures, even getting closer to that 30-degree mark, especially for Medicine Hat at 28 degrees, 25 in most spots over on this end here, while Coronation is at 24. Switching now back to our Saskatchewan side, they are looking quite warm there with 26 in both Moose Jaw and Swift Current. So most spots across the provinces we are seeing between 23 to 26 degrees. 24 in Estevan, while it is most spots for the rest, they're just seeing 25. So lots of 26 and 25s, as you can hear me saying. And now going back across the region, seeing what we will expect throughout our evening and throughout the night. We will be looking at double digits once again for our evening low temperatures. None of us are complaining about that, of course. We're going to be having some nice warm evenings coming up here. Unity will be seeing slightly the coolest with a low of 11. Most spots will be seeing that low of 13 for their evening low tonight. Paradise Hill, Bonnyville, and Pearson will be seeing a low of 12. And Isle Cross will be seeing the warmest with a low of 15. And condition-wise, we will be seeing some clear skies for the most part, some clouds in sight for some spots, but we won't be seeing some precipitation, so get ready for a nice hot day and hot evening as well. And ending off with our 3-day forecast here for the border city. As I was saying, tomorrow, 29, reaching that 30 mark. So please watch out, stay safe, use that sunscreen, find some shade if needed, go inside if needed. Try and stay out of the sun if you need to, but enjoy it tomorrow. We'll be seeing a beautiful day with that sun. 27, warming up again for 27 throughout the day on Wednesday, although seeing an 83% chance of that precipitation and a risk of a thunderstorm, so please watch out. Then Thursday, we'll be seeing a mix of some sun and cloud for 24, so get ready. We're having some beautiful days coming up here in the border city. That's all I have for now. Our Days Immaculate Harbor News coming up after the break.
First off, Parker, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. It's an absolute pleasure to get you on to talk about your latest single, Last Rodeo. We're going to be talking about that song here in a few minutes, but first we got to get to know you a little bit more. So you are originally from Ontario, now living in BC. You are a singer-songwriter of the country genre, but for those who may not know you as well, tell us a bit about your musical journey and a bit about yourself.
Yeah. So first off, thanks so much for having me. I just appreciate you so much. And it's always so nice to chat with you and see your face. So I was born in really Ontario and I kind of moved my way across the country. I lived a little bit in Alberta and found myself in Vancouver eventually out of nowhere. And I've always been in music and I've always been obsessed with music and in all different ways, in all different genres. And I started in pop and I thought that that was kind of like my lane and my place. And the catalyst was actually Do Over, the first single, and the guy that I had met that I wrote it with was like, this is kind of your thing. And I was like, this is my thing. What have I been doing in all these other places? So that kind of popped everything off. And I just I'm so obsessed with writing stuff that people feel and kind of taking both sides of the breakup where it's like you get to experience the feelings in the moment and then if you listen to an old song, or sorry, if you listen to one of the songs and it kind of catapults you back, you get to kind of see how far you've come. So there's all these different facets and sides to heartbreak. And so some people just see it as a singular thing, and I kind of see it as the full spectrum. So I love being able to like share that with people.
Your music, I've gotten to know it over the last few years, and you have Do-Over, Before You Leave, Cowboys Go, and now Last Rodeo, which we're going to be talking about here in a couple of minutes once again, but you're on a mission to make country music sad again.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, baby. Bring back the tears, make it hurt. To be honest, so back when we were in the middle of the pandemic, I was very heavily involved in the app Clubhouse. And someone had said in a room, they were like, your profile bio should be like really hooky and catchy. And it was a joke at first. And although like I really love writing sad songs, the slogan was like a complete kind of like hook, line, and sinker just to get people to look at my profile. And then it ended up just sticking. And then once we started like, once Do-Over came out and Before You Leave came out, and then we released Last Time, and Last Time was like kind of the catalyst of sadness. Like that was like the deepest moment of sadness. I was like, this thing really is gonna stick. And at the end of the day, like people are like, why don't you like release a party track or do something like that? And I'm like, I love feelings, and I love making people feel things, and I love getting to like share my personal experiences. And I think I've been in such this crazy developmental phase the last 10 years that like I think it would be foolish to not share those experiences with people. And I know people really love like club bangers and like, you know, drinking songs, but my heart is just in sad music. And I think that's the stuff that I'm just naturally attracted to, as well as that story and the feeling and that moment when like the knife goes into your stomach and they turn a little bit, you're like, oh, that hurt, but like amazing in the best way. So
it hurts so good.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of search for those moments in my songwriting and like in my personal experiences, which I don't know, maybe I'm a sucker for punishment, but.
Well, I think everybody's kind of dubbed it Saddie for Baddies. Is what they
Saddies
called
for
your
the
genre
baddies.
now?
Yeah, okay, so that was another thing, was like, that was a joke, kind of, and then it has evolved into this thing, and then I called out Casey Musgraves because she made a tweet about it, and I mean, we can be sad girls and baddies at the same time. I think that is that's us, that's you and I. There's tons more of us out here. So yeah, we've kind of dubbed the songs Saddies for the Baddies, which is amazing.
Absolutely love it. Now, you do have a new Saddie for Baddies out there called Last Rodeo, and this song is actually a fairly personal one as well. So tell us a bit about the song here.
Yeah, I went in, so we started writing for the EP, and I went in thinking like, I was in a kind of a relationship and I was so happy, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, how am I gonna write sad songs? I'm in such a good place. And it's like I landed in Nashville and things just went sideways. Kind of, they have went sideways. And so I had the title Last Rodeo for a long time, and I really liked the dichotomy between rodeos and like that push pull, and like that like sitting on the sidelines and like watching someone in a rodeo, and like that intensity and the spirit and the energy and like the disappointment that can come with that, and I mean competition in general, but and then how that kind of related to love. And so we talked about that a little bit in the session with Kate and Tori, and then this situation happened with this guy, and I was like, I just feel like I'm like waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I'm holding out hope for something, and I'm not willing to give up because I see something really great here, but I'm gonna let it be him to make that decision, which is also kind of silly. But so Last Rodeo came out, and there's so many pieces in it that like we saw later of like, oh, this is so much more to the rodeo thing than we thought. Like it wasn't intentional, and then looking back, I'm like, actually, this is so cool. It's probably one of the more upbeat songs that you'll hear from me this year, but I love it. There's something about it that is super special, and it's still like, it just means a lot. Like it's a different feeling for me from the other songs, and I'm so glad it's finally out.
Well, it is one of the most gorgeous, gorgeous songs, and everybody's going to love it, and they're going to want to hear it now. So of course, where can everybody find more about you and your music?
So you can find me on all the social platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, at Parker Gray, just my name, Graye, and www.parkergray.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Parker.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.